be forgot and never brought to mind. Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? Poor old lang syne, my dear, poor old lang syne.
All right.
Got it?
Everyone got it?
Everyone get it?
We'll find out after when Jim's editing episode 31 of Shack Out Back, the year-end hoedown. Everyone's here.
Woo! I have a Windows 10 update.
Okay, well, that's the end of the podcast.
Well, that's
Thank
it.
you for joining us today on
Thank you for joining. Yeah,
I can
that's it for
see
this
it.
year.
It scared me. I thought it was going to be Windows 11.
We have with us today. We have, of course, me, John Bliss. We have our co-host Dan Sama, Mr. Danny Markle, and with us we have SoundCloud rapper extraordinaire Lil Odie.
That's good.
And we have starving artist Brandon Chen.
It's me. You also forgot 3-time Olympic gold medalist at diving, but yeah, that's
You
me.
forgot vomit cleaner.
And a servant to Lord Joe Rogan.
Well, actually, I'm on Cumtown now. I actually moved over.
What the fuck is Cumtown?
It's a podcast with the Cumtown boys. You know,
That's Dan Harmon's podcast.
that's Dan Harmon's podcast, dude.
Cumtown. Anyway, this is the year-end hoedown. We're going to be doing a little bit of... We got 6 topics to do. Your favorite game this year that's not Deep Rock Galactic.
Yes, there's a caveat. We can't say Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah.
But it is you played for the first time this year, which thank God, because I don't really play... I wait a good year until they go on sale, and then I enjoy them.
And then we have our favorite book we read this year.
Yes.
Our favorite TV show we watched. Our favorite movie we watched. Our favorite musician we got into this year. And then your favorite moment you had this year. It's very sappy. But as always, with every podcast we've done so far... Before we even named it, it is the bi-weekly breakdown.
We're going to skim through this one real quick.
No, we're not.
Who gets to go first? Topics.
Fuck the topics. Dan Sama, you go first. Bi-weekly breakdown.
Last 2 weeks, I've been grinding, finishing my book, so I wanted to get it finished before tonight, and I did finish it today. I started a really good new show that is one of my favorite shows I watched this year already. I have been playing a lot of Deep Rock with you guys because the holiday stuff has been out. So we've been grinding that and doing the EDD and the deep dives and everything. And I've been playing Fear a lot, and I've just been relaxing. A nice, tasty bi-weekly breakdown. How about you, O-Trick, Lil Odie?
School's coming to a close. Well, it did come to a close. I'm done school for now. So for the past 2 weeks, I've been stressing over projects and teammates because group projects are just terrible. I've been getting into Band of Brothers, which is a TV show that was on HBO, I believe, in like 2008. Playing Deep Rock, finishing the Christmas missions, and that's pretty much it.
What about you, old Tin Man?
Oh, as for me, I in terms of games, there's always Deep Rock, of course. I've also been playing Dishonored for the first time. That's been really fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really
That's
good,
funky.
really enjoyable. I know I should have played it a long time ago, but what are you gonna do? For books, I've been reading the Witcher series, and that's been enjoyable. You know, that's like a pretty.
I've wanted to try and get into that, but it feels kind of daunting.
It's a lot of content. I think someone said it's like twice the length of the Lord of the Rings books when you put all the books together.
Holy fuck! I didn't know that.
I know it's like weird too. It's like the second book is the prequel, and the 8th book is actually the first book into the timeline. All the weird stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a reading list online you can find that's pretty good. Yeah, there's 2 short story books you have to read first, and then a bunch of books, and then there's one that's a prequel, but also you have to read the actual books first before you read the prequel because it has spoilers and stuff. So
if anything starts to sound like the Star Wars, the Clone Wars in terms of chronology, it's kind of messed up.
Always bad. Yeah. As for movies, I watched Spider-Man on Thursday. Excellent movie. Very good. No spoilers here, of course. Oh yeah, fantastic.
There's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is in the movie. Go watch it, everyone. And as for shows, Hawkeye. I've been watching. That's been really good.
Another Marvel film show.
Brandon watches another Marvel film.
Yeah, but Brandon watches the MCU, the podcast. No, and I think that's about it. I have nothing in my life right now. I've done a couple commissions for people, but other than that, yeah, just,
Pay this man to make him draw stuff for you. He does a good
Please.
job. I've done it, and it's the background of my phone, and both backgrounds.
Go to my
Pay me
Instagram,
for a badge.
bchen.art, and you'll see my art,
Do
and we can talk about commissions, please.
Jim, good old Jim. He watched Harry Potter 2 and 3 with his roommates, and they're the best Harry Potter films. Because after the third one, I don't like the movies that much. I don't revisit them. He watched The Woman in Black, starring Harry Potter, because it's a new Hammer horror film, and it was okay. I like the ending. I watched a movie called The Remains of the Day, which is about British butlers during World War II, and it was very fucking boring and good. I enjoyed it very much.
It was very boring and
Sometimes
good.
boring is good, yeah.
I've been trying to find a game that's not Deep Rock Galactic to play, like, idly, because I feel like every time I've got on my computer the last, like, month, I've just, like, been like, okay, time to play Deep Rock. I just start playing Deep Rock while, like, watching videos and stuff. So I've been playing The Long Dark, which is, like, a survival game set in Canada. It's very fun. I bought it a while ago, but now I'm playing in earnest in the survival mode, and I'm enjoying it. I also started reading Texasville, which is the sequel to the cow fucking book, Dan.
Does he have sex with animals?
No, there's no animal sex yet, but I did send you the little excerpt I was reading today.
That's good.
Yeah, it's got Heidi stuff in it. I read Persepolis, which is about a lady who grew up in Iran during the Cultural Revolution. It's a very good book. Everyone should read that. It's a graphic novel. And I've been rereading the BPRD and Abe Sapien series, and they're a lot more grimdark than I remembered that I read like 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, they're kind of sad, but I enjoyed them.
Jim cries because Fishman's sad.
Cro-Magnon Fishman sad.
What a baby.
What a baby. Is that it for the bi-weekly breakdown?
so.
Did I forget someone?
Jim, would you have laughed? I was looking at Game Cycle, and I saw the Hellboy movie from 2019 for $5, and I was going to get like a bunch of copies and just put them in a big present for you. Would you have thought that was funny?
I would have like melted them down to some kind of like sharp implement and then cut your throat with it, so no.
Oh my.
How about we move on to our topics at hand, everybody? This is the themed podcast, end of the year podcast. We wrap everything up. Dan, you take over. What fucking topic do you want to do first?
Okay, so how do we want to do this as a round robin? I think that might be more interesting than having one person speak at once, all the 6 topics,
Yeah,
and
I
then
agree.
go around.
Yeah.
You mean like one person says all the things they did and then...
No.
Either way.
Yeah.
Oh, so we get a topic and everyone says their pick and then
so
we move to the next topic? Okay.
Anyone have any ones they want to start on first, or do you just want to go them down and...
You go first, Dan. You pick a topic and you ream off yours and we'll talk about it.
I will say, let's do favorite musician you got into this year. I think this was the easiest one for me to do because I had someone immediately that came to my mind. For myself, my favorite musician I got into this year was the band Easy Life. It's a UK-based band, and it was in my top Spotify streams and everything like that. They did some songs for the old FIFA games, but I like Easy Life a lot. I really like Nightmares, and I like Pockets, and I like all that stuff. Patrick would probably like them. Mm-hmm. They're blokes.
Alternative R&B group. Yeah, I've never heard of them before.
Yeah, they just have a new album in 2021 called Life's a Beach.
Life's a Beach.
It's good. It's a nice song. I also have I've been listening to a lot this year, a lot of Paul Simon.
Paul Simon's always good.
Paul Simon's
although
so
I haven't listened to him
fucking
very
good.
much.
Is he gay?
I don't know.
He strikes me.
Why don't you look it up, Dan?
No, it's
he
more
strikes
of a
you.
mystery.
Are we putting the Dan is problematic counter down to 0 today?
It's
more.
Is that what's happening?
It's better as a mystery. I like to imagine it's more of a mystery to me. I'm not going to look it up ever.
I'm gonna look up his personal life right now.
I'm going to look up
you.
every single fact of his
actually
personal
doing the
life
same
and the
thing.
hospital where he was born and his parents. I'm going to dox him online. Patrick, you go next. You're a musician. Tell me what. Tell me, Lil Peep, Lil Yai, Little variant.
Who's that rapper? Little Penis.
little.
This year I have a very like broad music taste, so I don't really.
Yeah, I would consider myself to have a.
I don't really have
broad
one
music
sort of
taste.
genre or style that I listen to. I'm all over the place. I had a couple contenders this year. My Spotify Wrapped was so bad, so I'm not even gonna share it. Like, it was brutal. I was embarrassed actually.
Didn't you have one
worries.
song that was like a minute long? That was your most played song.
So I had a song
like
that was a
800
minute
times or
long
something?
that I played something like 83 times, and then I had another song that I played like 81 times, and it's 5 or 6 minutes, and that wasn't even on the list. So that's why I was kind of pissed off, because I was like,
weird that they do it like that.
yeah, why wouldn't they do like minutes listened rather than whatever? I'm just ranting. But so my top 3 were Dorian Electra, who I have come to love, who is does like, it's sort of like I don't even know how to describe it.
She is a very eclectic person. He?
He?
They?
I think of they.
They?
I can't remember the name of the genre that they do. Hyperpop.
Yeah,
There we go.
I don't
Hyperpop.
know.
I've come to love hyperpop, but
Hyperpop.
yeah.
What's hyperpop?
Which is like hyperpop is, who does hyperpop? 100 Gex. I think Rebecca Black even has started.
Oh, shut up!
Dude, she's
I'm
doing
not kidding.
hyperpop.
I'm
Wow.
not kidding. No.
Yeah, I think she's made a bit of a comeback, hasn't she?
Yeah, hyperpop has been a really good genre that I've listened to over the past year.
Really, the world has gone topsy-turvy in 2021 if Rebecca Black is back
Honestly,
in the
people
public eye.
are doing anything for attention. They do attention rather than making music, and then that's what gets their music popular. And that's been the trend forever. But anyways, but my number 1 is Yule, who is I think she's from Singapore, and she is like a glitch sort of ambient singer-songwriter. And yeah, she's making great music, and I think
How do you spell the name?
Yeule. And I think she's only like 24, 23. She's pretty young, so really good music though. If you need like an ambient sort of soundtrack to listen to while studying or I don't know, gaming. You're a gamer. And you want to game. Listen to Yule, and yeah, very good.
Do we have any gamers in this?
Leave it to Pat, because I'm going to be editing this later, and I'm going to look up all these things and listen to them, and I bet I'm going to like most of them.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's a lot of vocals, but most of it is very like, I almost said Jerry, very ambient. So it's something that you can just listen to and not really pay attention to, but it's harmony.
The official Yule Twitter account yesterday posted a picture that just said, "I have 2 sides, sensitive femboy Fox and Margaret Thatcher."
Wow, okay.
What the fuck?
That would be Yule, yeah.
Sorry, my phone just went off for a second there.
Sorry, it was Yule.
It's all right. We're kicking Brandon off the podcast. Bye, Brandon.
I was looking at my Spotify and I pressed
Jim,
play
go
by
next. What's your favorite musician?
Jim, go next.
Jim's gonna say, "I've been listening to Haim and throat singing."
I didn't listen. I just didn't start listening to Haim this year, bro. So my top songs, I'll get into my favorite musician in a minute, but my top songs this year were like, for the Spotify wraparound, I don't really care, because I think my top one was 172 plays, and I think that's like enough to be like, yeah, that's probably, it was Warning Signs by Ali Nicholas. And I went to
I
a get
saw
together.
that woman's name on your Spotify Wrapped.
I went to a get together the other week, and I started playing like Ali Nicholas. My second most played song was Bad Love by Gold Space, and then Haim, and then Down to Fish, and then Way with Words. But I was playing Warning Signs and Bad Love, and my friends were like, "Jim, this is not gym music." So I think I'm like developing my taste, which I appreciate. I think I'm trying to be more like Pat in my day-to-day life.
Is that a good thing?
I don't think so.
Jim's most played song was Gummy Bear, I'm a Gummy Bear, and then
Crazy Frog.
Crazy Frog.
Yeah. But I think my favorite musician I got into this year was Brandon's stealing mine, so it's going to be the White Buffalo. I think the White Buffalo I listened to a fucking whole hell of a lot the last year.
That's a band?
It's a man. He did the music, the intro music for Sons of Anarchy, but he's like a new... He makes country music and folk music, but it's like, I really like country and folk music, and I really don't like what it's turned into in like popular quote-unquote country music, because that's just fucking garbage shit. And there's good people like him and Sierra Farrell. Sierra Farrell just released an album this year that was really good, who are releasing like good country music that doesn't suck balls. So I'm going to pick the White Buffalo for my favorite musician this year.
Okay.
Nice. Oh, are we...
Brandon,
Okay,
I have no
yes,
clue what music you listen to.
No, well, so I don't actually listen to a lot of music. In fact, my rap...
You listen to game soundtracks.
He's a sea shanty.
Yeah, like the Witcher soundtrack and like the Halo soundtrack and stuff like that. So, yeah, I listen to some sea shanties every once in a while. She shanties.
The year was 1778.
Yeah, that's a good one. So I'm gonna steal Jim's because I was listening to a bit of Bahamas. I think that's probably like the newest one I could say I've listened to this year. Really good Canadian singer from Tirana, and he's he's really good.
Nice.
What's that song that you always play when we're hanging out, Jim?
Way with Words. That was on my top played this year too.
Fantastic.
But that whole album is called Earth Tones. And it's really fucking good. That's the album I play the most.
Yeah, that one's fantastic.
I think I played Way with Words like 130 times this year or something like that.
You guys are wild.
Yeah, no, but I don't really listen to a lot of music. I'm more of a podcast guy these last couple of years. But
Well, you like a lot of like classic stuff, like classic rock and 50s music and like swing
Steely
stuff and stuff like that. I
Dan
appreciate
and
that.
yeah, like Warren Buffett and stuff. No, I think the one I played the most was Chris Brown. You know, I'm really getting into. He's just such a good. It's mostly because he's just such a good guy too. I think is like the thing.
Yeah, I was playing R. Kelly the most this year. I think.
And the thing is, they're just such great guys, right? So it's really easy to vibe with their music. No,
I'm like a bird.
please do not support either of those people. Fuck them.
Can I supersede my favorite moment this year? But one of my favorite moments was like we were talking about Fly Like a Bird in the Deep Rock Discord, and I asked Cassie if she knew who sang that because no one did, and she said Mr. Worldwide, and I laughed so fucking hard for like a day at reading that message over and over again. It was so funny.
That was Kanye, dude. But yeah, so in terms of music, I think Bahamas is like the only new one that I've really listened to. I this is last year, but Charles Bradley is one that I've been listening to a lot too. He's like a
Charles
soul
Bradley.
singer.
I'm related to him.
No,
Shut
you're
up.
not. I don't know if this is more.
I've seen this guy. He's really
I don't know
good.
if this is more like accessible or knowledgeable to people,
similar.
or not knowledgeable, but like more recognizable. Is he voiced Krampus in that one episode of American Dad, like one of the Christmas episodes?
What the fuck?
I think he's dead now. Though.
He's the guy that voiced Krampus in season 8, episode 32 of American Dad.
Krampus singing voice, American Dad
the
episode,
fuck?
Minstrel Krampus.
When Steve was a bad boy and he got spanked by Krampus.
When I die, don't let my tombstone read that I voiced Krampus Minstrel in the American Dad Christmas episode.
Krampus Minstrel. Charles Bradley is excellent, though. I highly recommend him if you like soul music and like bluegrass stuff like that. Really, really good.
All right, Bran, you're gonna pick the next block of topic we're gonna move to. So what one do you want to tackle next?
We're gamers here, right? I think we can all agree that we're
gamers. Yeah.
I do some gaming from time to time.
I got my G Fuel beside me right here, so I think we're going to talk about the favorite game that you played.
I got my Game-a-Sups right here on my desk.
Yes. So I guess I'll start since I'm introducing it.
Yes.
I'm going to include these both as kind of like one game. I think I played the Knights of the Old Republic games for the first time this year. Them old ones from like the 2000s. So those are really good. I really enjoyed the RPG aspect and stuff. The first game is kind of like your standard sort of like BioWare RPG. You know, you have all these companions, you do quests for them and all that. Really good. Interesting story. Takes place like 4,000 years before the prequel movies, so it's like very kind of removed from all that. And then Knights of the Old Republic 2 is very interesting because it's kind of a deconstruction of like Star Wars. Like spoilers, I guess, but this game's like 22 years old.
Spoilers.
So the main antagonist, who's actually someone that's your companion for the whole game, her name is Kreia. Her whole thing is that she actually hates the Force, and she thinks it's like bad. She has the Force too, but she's like she wants the main character to basically destroy the Force because she hates how it controls everyone's like actions and lives and stuff like that, which I find really, really interesting.
Bro, that's me as a Star Wars character.
Yeah, like her, like she tells you at the end that she's like, it's ridiculous. Like all these wars and shit are just happening because apparently the Force just wills it to be, you know?
Sounds
which I
like
find
a goddamn liberal.
Yeah,
sounds like kill God, let the world burn.
She's more like a libertarian. There's a lot of like Randy and stuff in there, which isn't my favorite. Like the main, like the first companion you meet is named Atten Rand, which is
that's a little on the nose.
I would say it's on the nose, but it's completely blocking the vision of anyone whose face it's on. It is very much on the nose. Yeah, and I mean it's really good. Like I think there's less companion quests and stuff in the second one, but I think their motivations and their like personalities are fleshed out a bit more. There's more like in between mission like dialogue and sort of interaction between the crew and stuff, which is interesting. But yeah, it's really good. I would say I like the second one more. It is extremely janky, and if you're doing the dark side playthrough, if you get the Force Lightning that like upgraded, you basically just win the game. Because it costs like 2 force points, and you literally can kill 12 enemies at once, like instantly. It's like you just sit there and press the same button over and over again and win the game. But I'm not going to speak to the mechanics. It's an old game, and it's Obsidian as well, so they're renowned for that kind of.
They're long-winded.
Long-winded. They take those old engines and they just they're buggy and they're sometimes unfinished, but the writing is very good. I think that's a Chris Avellone one too. Let's see. Let's go alphabetically. Daniel.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of thinking we'd go in a little circle, and then the person that was the last one would start at the next topic.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't pick things. So every topic I have a couple things, which is why I'm going quick. I'm not dwelling because I like to talk. My favorite games I've played. Okay, I can't keep the first one in because I didn't read the question. I have Prey. I played that before, but I just love Prey so much, so I want to say I played it again.
Shut up, Dan, with your Prey!
Okay, so these are the 3 that I've played this year for the first time. Ori and the Will of the Wisps was fucking insane. It was such a good sequel to The Blind Forest, and it pretty much improved it in every way. I played Senua's Sacrifice for the first time this year, and it was really, really good. And I didn't think I would like it just from looking at it, but that also got me listening to Hell Young, or however you pronounce the band that does the music for that.
Hell yeah.
But Senua's Sacrifice is crazy good, and it's so atmospheric. And I catch myself thinking about it quite a bit, just doing day-to-day shit, idly thinking about it. And I'm really excited for the second one, because they've actually shown gameplay of it, and it looks really creepy. And I also played a really weird pick that I really liked playing it at the time.
Scroll stapler.
It's not scroll stapler.
Scroll stapler?
I really enjoyed playing it at the time, but I didn't think it would resonate so much with me. And again, it's one of the things I look at and I think about a lot. It's a game called In Other Waters. It's a really hard game to talk about because it's barely a game by normal stretch of the imagination. Like, if you look at any screenshots or anything of this, it doesn't really look like a game. It's kind of like a narrative driven, almost like a book, except with interactive elements. It's really interesting though. It's about being a biologist that lands on an alien planet, and you're kind of going about discovering things, and it's all from like a text-based perspective, and everything's really minimalistic, and you're in a submarine the entire time, so you never actually see the outside world. It's just like descriptive about everything that your scientist is seeing.
Interesting.
It's really, really weird, and I could see how people don't like it, but I thought it was really weird, and it resonated with me.
Nice. It looks a little divisive, but I think that's like some of my favorite like, movies and video games and stuff. It's always got like the 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10 shit.
And it was.
You always find something personal in those kind of games.
Yeah, like going about it, near the end, I was getting a little like, okay, this is perfect time to wrap up. And it did, but after like for a couple weeks, and even now, I think about it and I'm like, that was really good. Like, I still remember all the big story beats, and I remember how they described things, so it obviously like stuck with me. Mm-hmm. Jim, tell me what you tell me what you've been
Gombus, good old Gombus here.
Please.
Games. So I'm only going to talk about games I finished this year. So I'm going to say some like honorable mentions, then get to my favorite. But I don't know if Dan beat it, but I beat it for the podcast. Blood.
No, I did
1997.
Oh
God, I love Blood. I did. I played like a fuckload of it for 2 weeks, and it was so fun and hard as shit. It's a game that Brandon would hate, but I love it very much. I beat Herat. Herat isn't done yet, but I got it this year, and I never shut the fuck up about Herat to you all. So Herat's like a Slav jank little game on Steam, and it's very fun. Guns are tinny and things are weird, but it's a damn good game. I beat the Outer Worlds DLC this year. That came out this year, and it was fucking excellent.
I did as well. Yeah, it was really good.
I think they were kind of lopsided a bit, because I remember Peril on Gorgon, I liked the story more, but I didn't like the ending. And then Ariandros, I really liked the story. And not the ending too, yeah, maybe it was the same kind of problem with both of them, but I enjoyed them both. I played Viscera Fest for the first time this year, and I finished it. It's really good. Another game that's not finished yet. Yeah, I want to mention Ghouls and Ghosts. Because I find myself thinking about Ghouls and Ghosts all the time and how fucking bullshit it was when we did that episode with Brandon where we played hard games.
That's right, yeah.
But I really liked like beating it and looking at it. It's a very pretty game. And every time I want to test, like, got my new CRT set up and shit like that, first game I tried of the CRT was Ghouls and Ghosts because it's such a pretty like bullshit game. And then Hunt Showdown, Dan's
Really, that's on
Bane.
your list.
It's on there. I still think about Hunt Showdown all the time, and I kind of want to find someone who I can play it with because
I'll play it if you want. I have no problem playing it.
I really liked it, and it was. I didn't think I'd like a battle royale-esque game with permadeath and stuff like that, but I like the theme. I like the setting. I like the gunplay. I liked how everything was fucking weird and strange in it.
I'll re-download it. That's fine. Yeah.
I'm bullying Dan at the end of the year to replay Hunt Showdown with me.
The Christmas thing's coming out soon.
My game of the year by far this year was Detention, which is a game by
I bought that because of you, yeah.
Red Candle Studios. It's about like a time of civil unrest in Taiwan, and I'm not going to spoil anything of it, but much like Dan and his like last pick, I think about that game a lot in terms of like themes and storytelling and stuff in gaming and how scary and like weird it was. And I think, that was like the most like involved like new game I played this year, where I like started it and I was like, oh, I'm not going to beat this today. And then I played all of it, started playing it, went to work and came back, got right back to it. Like it was that good of a game. Mm-hmm. I think I'm finished with that. Patty, what was your favorite game you played this year?
This year was a year of boredom for me. Like I ran out of things to do. There were no good games that I wanted to play. There was nothing I wanted to do. So I basically just went back to doing just the same old things. Everything from 2019 to now has just been clumped into one single like time frame. Like I don't remember what came out this year and what came out 5 years ago. I have no clue. So
Patrick doesn't have a podcast to keep track of time with.
So, I would say I didn't play too many games this year, but I messaged you guys if I could play Half-Life. I said, should I download Half-Life?
Yes,
Half-Life 2. And I played Half-Life and I loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of like pretty much almost half the games, maybe even more than half, that Valve has put out. Mm-hmm. So Half-Life being one of those games was it was really good. But really, my top game that I played this year was Paper Mario Thousand Year Door.
So nice. I can see
Have you
that.
not played that before
I
this
had
year?
never played it. As a kid, I had it, but I didn't play it. Or maybe I played it, but I didn't beat it. So honestly, I would say that this year is the first year I actually played through the entire game and beat it, and I loved it.
Yeah,
and
I haven't played it either. Yeah.
The character design is great. Like some of the characters and the names are so funny. The graphics, like
Mario, funny name.
They still hold up today. Like the graphics, like they're so simple, right? So
it's got. As I've said before, I'm fucking sick and tired of this goddamn photorealistic art style for AAA games. A game like that will always look good because it has a dedicated art style.
Mm-hmm. It's just so good. It just holds up today. Like even the new Mario, Paper Mario games look good, but in terms of gameplay, they're garbage. So I played a little bit of the newest one, and this one just blew it out of the water. Like it was so good. So I would recommend it to anybody. It was great.
That's Patrick's gaming take. He recommends Mario RPG from 20 years ago.
I love that game too, actually. So yeah, it was a good game.
Retro gamer.
Pat, what's the next pick, Pat? Tell me.
Next topic.
We've done games, we've done
music. Games and music. We've got movie, so we got TV show, and book.
I wanted to do moment, but I'm gonna leave moment to the last.
I think that one should be last.
Yeah. So let's do TV show. Let's do TV show.
TV show.
Let's do it. What's your favorite TV show, Pat?
Of 2021, or no? I guess it's in general, but
stuff you've watched.
What did you watch this year?
One that I watched this year, I would say there was a couple. I have a couple written down. I'd seen the South Park movie, but I'd never seen the full series until this year.
Oh,
I like
really?
South Park.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's funny. But really, there are two that I think come out on top, and that was Demon Slayer. So Demon Slayer.
Yes, 100%.
I think that maybe that came out last year. I don't know if it came out last year.
I think it was.
Is that the one with the the sexualized teenagers?
It's anime. That's every anime.
It's anime.
Yeah. It's the one with the girl in the box on the guy's back, and the guy with the boar head, and the guy that falls asleep with the lightning gem.
Yeah, doesn't the lady have like a tube in her mouth or something? I've seen that before.
She's
Sounds like
got a
anime.
bamboo shoot in her mouth so she doesn't bite.
Without giving away
gotcha.
too many spoilers, she is a demon, but she is the sister of the main character, and he is pretty much searching for a way to turn her back from a demon into a human. And so yeah, the series goes around that. But honestly, I'm really hoping that Demon Slayer turns out well in this season, because Attack on Titan was the number one series on my list right now.
Yeah,
So,
I can 100%. I forgot
think
that came
changing
out. Yeah.
studios was a great decision. I think it looks perfect. The new episodes are coming out in January, I believe.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, I don't even care if they make a movie. If they make a movie for the ending, I will be happy either way.
I think it makes sense. Yeah.
This was one of the series where like it would come out in Japan, and then it would come out on a streaming service, illegal ones, I'm not going to tell you what, but that I would use, and it would come out like the next day, and I would watch it that day, and I would be sad that I couldn't watch the next episode right away, and I'd have to wait a whole week, and I'd watch it like as soon as it came out.
Yeah.
So definitely Attack on Titan season 4 part 1, I think it is.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah. So
Okay.
Who next,
who's
Pat?
next? Bran.
It's,
Let's go over to
it would
Bran.
be Brandon.
Is it me? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's like
Star Wars Mandalorian.
I'm out of this
Are
podcast.
you taunting
I'm
Is
out
it
of this
Mandalorian?
podcast.
It's literally Mandalorian. I know.
No,
he's
no,
gonna
no.
say
That is very good. I enjoyed the second season.
I liked it a
but,
lot when I watched it.
No, I think I have two shows that I would probably put up there. Hawkeye has been really, really good. I actually like.
It's been that good, eh?
Yeah.
It's got Haley Steinfeld.
I went in with,
of course, it's
like
that
fairly
good.
low expectations. I was like, yeah, Hawkeye show, whatever. But so far it's been the best out of all the Marvel ones,
Really?
which is for me, anyways.
Even the Punisher.
Oh no, sorry, not the Netflix shows, but like the Disney Plus ones. I mean, Daredevil still reigns supreme in that, I think. But and then the second show is Inside Job. I've actually really been enjoying that one. And granted, I'm sure there's probably some better ones that came out this year, but I really don't watch that much TV either. Like, I'm kind of a boring person. But yeah, Hawkeye has been really good. Lots of good character development for Hawkeye. He doesn't really get much in the movies and stuff. And of course, Haley Steinfeld is amazing. She's, wonderful actress. Some very interesting reveals and twists and turns. Very funny. It's good. And Inside Job was also very amusing. I would say it seems like it's on par to become a kind of Futurama-esque show for me. It's much more vulgar though, like a lot of
Nice.
drugs.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, a lot of drug stuff, a lot of like stuff like that. But it's not like it doesn't feel like a Family Guy or anything like that. Like, it is crass, but I think it's used in a much better way. It's not just for the shock value. It does add, to the feeling of the world and stuff. And it's kind of like centered around this not council, but like a group of people who run this company who's like, it's supposed to be like the deep state. Like, in this world, like, all the conspiracy shit is true. Like, there's aliens and lizard people and stuff like that.
Really?
And like the people
Telling
running
you
the place
guys,
are, like,
lizard people.
all the people running the place are just like assholes or like drug addicts. John DiMaggio voices a half human, half dolphin sergeant man. It's quite amusing. I would recommend checking it out. Yeah, it's really funny. I think that's it. I would like to mention as well. Apparently Arcane is like really good. The League of Legends show.
It's so fucking
I don't know if
good.
you guys. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are going to talk about that. I haven't seen it yet, but
Just don't play the game.
Yeah, no, I
I
had my tangle with that back in high school. Don't worry, I don't think there's any chance of me installing that game again. But the show looks...
Talking about League of Legends is like talking about like having a drug life in high school that you used to do.
Back in high school, I was
Yeah.
on League, and this is like this like super huge revelation. Yeah, but I would like to watch it. Apparently, the animation is just like absolutely
It's
stunning.
crazy good.
Yeah.
Everything about that is very, very good.
The best part about League actually is the lore. So I think that's why it took off so well.
For sure, yeah, I mean, I think it's great because like you get to experience League without having to play League, which is a huge positive. And
the big win.
what's another show? Oh, Alana showed me my sister. She showed me Hell of a Boss a couple days ago.
Hell of a boss.
By Vivzy Pop on YouTube.
Hell of a good dip.
Same guy, same lady who did Has Been Hotel, I think.
I was gonna say I thought I've seen this.
Yeah, it's good. The animation is really good on those. I'm quite impressed with that.
It looks kind of like Invader Zim.
I've seen a lot of porn on Twitter.
The voice actor for Invader Zim or of Zim is actually in the show. So
Oh.
Yeah, as one of the demon. There's like a demon couple named Moxie and Millie, and he voices Moxie. So yeah, there's a furry wolf woman.
That looks like a thirsty show.
Oh yes, it is extremely horny. Yeah, lots of
Yep.
sexy sex stuff.
Sexy
sex stuff.
I'm very uncomfortable with the thought of sex, so that's why I stumbled there.
All right, Brandon, cool off and pick the next guy.
Okay,
It's me.
yeah, Dan, right?
So I've got a couple as well. I'll start with the anime first. I've got, I just started Kaiji Ultimate Survivor, and it is fucking crazy good. Like,
Is that the gambling one?
It's the gambling one. It's in a glorious 480p resolution on Crunchyroll. And I'd get the Blu-ray if I saw it for a good price, but it's so good so far. Like, I'm only 10 or 12 episodes into it, but I already know I'm gonna love it. Like, the first 9 episodes were about rock, paper, scissors for well, what is that, 3 hours or something?
Jesus Christ, okay.
20 minutes an episode. Yeah, it was about restricted rock, paper, scissors, and it had me on the edge of my seat. Odd Taxi won IGN's Anime of the Year, and I think it really deserves it because it's one of those anime that are made for adults, and it got shafted a little bit because it was kind of confusing at first, but Odd Taxi is insanely good. It follows, it's kind of like it's hard to describe. It's kind of like a crime drama, and everything interweaves and connects, and you'll see characters that you'll see in episode 1, and then they'll weave back, and you'll get their backstory and how they meet and understand everyone. Really, really good.
Ruby's going fucking.
Is that the cat in the background?
Yeah, you can hear my cat in the background. She's screaming. She's screaming for dinner.
She's trilling like a fucking.
Cassie's feeding her right now, or she already did feed her, and that's her after dinner screams. She screams before
constantly.
dinner screams, and then after dinner screams, where the time between the food reaching her mouth and reaching her stomach hasn't happened yet, so she doesn't know that she's already eaten. But yeah, she's probably being quiet now. Don't edit it out. Let everyone hear. So I'll do the next 3 quick. Me and Kat, these are all Amazon Prime originals, which tells you Amazon Prime originals are fucking crazy good lately. We watched Them. Cassie and I watched a show called Them, which was really, really good, and it's hard to get through because some parts are really tough to watch. It's about racism in America.
Ooh, yeah.
It's real rough sometimes, but amazing show. We also watched Invincible. Invincible is fucking insanely good. It's so good.
I would
recommend it to anyone. It's so good. And also The Boys season 2,
I think.
Two, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 just came out this year. So we've rewatched season 1, watched season 2, and again, insanely good show. Not for the faint of heart. Jim will throw up if he watches it. But,
I didn't like when that man ran through that lady.
That was the first
made
5
me feel
minutes,
bad.
Jim.
I know. It made me
that
feel
guy
bad.
gets his
Like, no, I
ass
gotta turn it
kicked constantly.
Well, I had a similar experience with Invincible, actually. I was like, well, I got through like the first 4 episodes, and like did the old lady scene throw you off? I don't think I got
like
to that part
scene.
yet. No, I didn't quite get to that part yet. But like, yeah, it's just, I know it's animated, but the gore is like horrifying. Like, it's like straight up. Like, yeah. I think like the end of episode 1, like I don't want to spoil it, but like, Jesus fucking Christ, like that was. Whew.
Yeah, the old lady scene. He grabs an old woman from falling.
Don't spoil.
I'm not gonna. It's an old woman. She's random.
It's an important character moment when he rips
not.
the old lady's arms off.
No, he grabs her from falling, and he falls into a pit with her, and he like bounces around like a superhero would after he gets shot, like smashed into a big pit. And he's like, "Oh, are you okay?" And she's like mangled.
Oh, that's like that's when the aliens are invading, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I saw that shit and I was like, "That is too much." I was like, "That's fucking nasty."
It's like it's pretty terrible. Like the show is really good, but the gore is just like, oh my god. Like,
not for the
so
faint of
everyone
heart.
thinks that Jim is the gore man. He likes the weird films and all that stuff, but no, it's Dan who revels in the bloodshed and gore.
Yes. Jim,
Dan,
tell
the
me what
Cannibal
TV
Man.
shows you watched this year. Jim,
TV
Jim
shows.
watched The Walking Dead season 21.
TV shows. I'm gonna ream off 3 that I binged a lot. And the first one was Longmire.
Yes,
I watched all of
Cowboy.
Longmire in like a week. That was fucky. It was like 60 episodes,
Jesus.
an hour long each, and I
my
watched them all
God.
in a week. Yeah, it was fucked. And then there was Squid Game in it.
Oh,
Mr.
yes,
Squid Game.
yeah, I forgot
that came
about
out this year, and it was really good. I watched all of Peaky Blinders in like a few weeks, and that was very good. But I think like my 2 top picks, because I couldn't pick between them, that I watched this year were HBO's Chernobyl, that I got on Blu-ray this year, and Midnight Mass.
Oh, Midnight Mass was so good.
Midnight Mass made me feel things.
Nice.
It made me feel a lot of things, and so did Chernobyl.
Yeah.
It made me feel like some of the same things of like existential dread and bad stuff, but they were both fucking excellent. I think that I'm going to talk about him again in a second. But Mike Flanagan, everything he makes is fucking gold. I like everything he makes.
Yeah,
it's
me
all
too.
fucking good.
He's responsible for Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor.
Haunting of Hill House
okay.
and Bly Manor and
Nice, yeah.
and Doctor Sleep and 100 other things.
Yeah.
Oh, he did Doctor Sleep as well. I didn't know that.
And a special mention to Twin Peaks. I'm not done Twin Peaks yet because I started it with my roommate a couple months ago, and there's so much fucking Twin
That's
Peaks.
the original, right?
But it's not remade.
Oh, okay.
Everyone thinks that it got remade in 2017. It didn't get remade. It just continued on.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So we're on season 2 of 3, and we haven't watched the movie yet, but season 2 has like 30 episodes in it or some god awful thing.
Wow.
So we're going to watch season 1 and 2 and watch the movie Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, and then we're going to watch season 3, and we're finally going to be done with Twin Peaks. Thank fuck.
It's glorious.
But I think that's it for TV shows. Now it's Jim's time to pick a topic.
movies and
Which
books,
one
I
do
think,
you
right?
think? Yeah, which one do you think he's
We've
going to
got
pick?
movies and books. I think Jim's going to pick movie.
Yeah, he is going to pick movie.
Nice.
Movie.
So I'm a movie. I'm gonna ream off all the great movies I saw this year because I went through all the bi-weekly breakdowns and I picked them up. First one, Doctor Sleep, almost my favorite film this year. How could a man make a sequel to The Shining and have it be fucking excellent?
I was going to say, did it get bad reviews? Or did
No,
it just
got,
kind of
like,
fly under the radar?
I think it got it flew under the radar and
yeah.
got like good reviews, but like I didn't watch it when it came out in like
Yeah,
2018 or whatever it was. I watched it this year and I was so blown away with how good it was because I didn't know it was Mike Flanagan and I watched it and I was like, holy fuck, is that Mike Flanagan? It was. The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Oh, that was so good.
Oh, that's a great movie.
A fucking
Yeah.
amazing
I forgot about
Netflix
that.
film made by the same guys who made Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Fucking really, really good film. What Keeps You Alive? I kept calling it How Do You Keep
survive or something?
or some shit.
What keeps you survived?
It's about 2 lesbians in the woods. It's fucking really good, and I'm gonna have to watch it with Brandon and Patrick some of these days. I think you guys would really like it.
Yes,
That's
it
a grand
was
premise.
really good.
Yep.
It was really tense.
I watched Certain Women with my roommate Loren, and it was fucking excellent. It made me cry. Really good. I watched a student film called We Fix Radios with my friend Loren too, and it was bad, but I still think about it a lot, about like just some kids in rural Ontario talking about
Bad, but I think
LGBTQ
about
stuff.
it.
The plot's kind of nonsense, but the aesthetic is really good in that film, and it's like made by a bunch of 18-year-olds. It's really good. I watched Rift, which is an Icelandic movie. It features Iceland,
Oh, yeah,
and it's
I
much
remember
better
that
than
one.
much better than Lamb. Lamb made me laugh, but Rift made me feel lots of stuff.
Lamb was good though.
Reunion, yeah, Lamb was good. It made me laugh a lot. Reunion was the homunculus film I talked about on Checkout Back, and I think about that movie a lot too when I laugh.
Homunculus.
Psycho Gorman. Dan didn't talk about Psycho Gorman, but it was also a really good film. Brawl in Cell Block 99, which is the most violent movie I watched this year. Vince Vaughn stomps a man's jaw out, among other things.
Delicious.
Made by S. Craig Zoller, the same guy who did Bone Tomahawk and Dragged Across Concrete and a few other films and a few other books. Really good director. Howl's Moving Castle, I watched for the first time this year.
Amazing
Fucking
movie.
excellent. Yeah. But my number one movie this year, boys, what do you all think it is?
The Muppets.
Yeah, Muppets Go to Space. That's the next one, right?
Is it the one with Melissa McCarthy and the Muppet Detective movie?
Oh yeah, dude, I forgot about that one. Holy crap! Yeah, I think that was a 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Oh, Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise.
Definitely.
Cruise.
Thanks.
Jim, just stop us when we get it right, okay?
Okay, it's Pig.
Oh,
yeah, the
yes,
Nicolas Cage
I
one.
should've
Pig was
seen
my
that
number
coming.
one movie this year. It was cinematography, screenwriting. What I love with writing, less is more. Nicolas Cage putting in an Oscar-worthy performance because he's a good actor when he wants to be, and great like cast, great like extras in this movie that are really really good. I bought that movie, and Brawl in Cell Block 99 and The Green Knight all together in once, and I think I've never bought a trio of finer films in one go before. They were all fucking excellent. But I think I want to pick Lil Odie next. Lil Odie, what was your favorite movie this year?
Does Patrick watch movies?
I do. I love movies. I do usually. I don't like new movies though. I honestly have been going back and watching older movies.
I feel that.
But I will say that one of my favorite movie of the year is a recommendation from Jim. So
What was it?
I can't tell you. I gotta tell you my other movies first. So Some of the movies that I liked this year were we watched Hellraiser, and I'd never seen Hellraiser before.
Oh,
That was a good movie. The original.
What about Hellraiser 2?
I'd rather kill myself. Midsummer, which is a great movie. I won't give any spoilers on that one because you need to watch it. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it. It's so good.
Let me just tell you, that woman can frown.
that Florence Pugh, she can frown.
Excellent frowner.
I watched The Revenant for the first time. I actually was a little bit late to it, but I loved it. It was a great movie. Mugen Train came out this year, the Demon Slayer movie. Man on the Moon. So it is the story of Andy Kaufman, and is reenacted by Jim Carrey, and it was excellent. It was great. It made me really sad. There Will Be Blood. That was a Jim recommendation.
Oh yeah,
too.
Ooh, that's a good film.
But
I remember you talking about that for a few days.
It was great. I loved it.
I consider myself an oil man.
Consider myself a shack man.
But the number one movie that I watched was No Country for Old Men.
Oh,
I loved it. It was, nice. I don't know, just the story behind it and the acting.
That's the guy with the penis haircut.
Javier Bardem.
Oh, yeah, Javier Bardem. Yeah, that was a good haircut.
Yeah, so
that's a movie like The Shining that gets better every time you watch it.
It does. It grew. It did. In the beginning, I wasn't sure if I was into it, and then it grew on me, and I loved it. And I rewatched it, and then I rewatched it, so I've seen it 3 times now. But yeah, that was a great movie. So anyone looking to watch, sort of like, no, it's not really. It's not a thriller. Would you say it's a thriller?
I'd say it's like
a built-up thriller.
It's like, I think it's a tension-filled movie. It's literally just like you sit and people talk, and then something horrible happens.
Yeah,
that's the film.
It's things that you like when you're watching it. You're horrified by some things. Like you just can't believe that is something a person could do in the movie. It's terrible, but the movie's so good. You don't expect anything from the movie. You can't expect anything to happen.
Well, you pick, Pat. Who you pick?
Dan gone yet?
I haven't.
Nope. You can go, Dan.
Me? After me, it's Bran, right? Bran's the last movie category. So I've got only 2 movies that really stuck out to me a ton this year. I watched Red Line again multiple times. I think I've talked about Red Line before, but Red Line is...
I don't think you have.
No.
Check out back.
Red Line is by far one of my favorite movies I've ever watched. It is a movie.
Is that a war movie?
No, it is a racing movie, an anime racing movie.
Oh, that looks like fun.
It's so fucking good. It's got everything a guy like me loves. It's got big space Nazis, big huge bio weapons that are big babies that crawl around.
Oh, nice.
I forget what they call them. I think they call them Little Baby, and it's a big huge baby.
That's fantastic.
Not like Big Baby from Hellboy 2?
Not like Big Baby. Redline's insanely good, and it cost that studio everything. I'm pretty sure they went on.
Yeah, it was $30 million, and they made $8 million back.
That's how you tell a good movie, though.
Yes.
Oh wow! Some of these clips remind me of JoJo.
Oh, it's so stylized. It's so good. But I've also got a movie called His House. And I loved His House. It is about a Sudanese family who are refugees, and they come to, I believe it's set in the UK, and they get a house for the first time, and they've never had a house like this. They've never had a flat like this that's their own, and it slowly is realized that they're infested by war-torn spirits that have followed them from their refugee camps of people that have died on the way to the UK.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, same. It happened to my buddy Eric.
Jeez.
But it's really disturbing. There's a lot of shots that are just... And it's not jump scare creepy or anything. It's just like... You'll see shit moving around behind people or like
that's
watching
the best.
people.
That's the best.
Always the best.
Yeah. Weird shit. And I really like the African inspiration of it and the Sudanese inspiration. Really good movie. It didn't get amazing reviews, but I couldn't tell why. Like, I liked it a lot.
For sure, yeah.
But yeah, it's on Netflix, I believe. If you want to go check it out.
Is it on a scale of 1 to 10? How scary is it?
It's pretty unsettling. There are some scenes that are quite disturbing. It's not insane. It's like an 8.
I don't like scary movies. That's a big one for a guy like me.
No, you'd like it. Brandon, tell me, do you watch movies? Do you just sit down?
I think I've watched like 2 or 3 movies in my lifetime, so I'll talk about it. No, I actually didn't watch too many movies this year, but I will talk about. I think there's 4 that come to mind that really that I really remember. First, of course, I got to talk about Spider-Man. Wonderful movie.
I fucking knew it.
I know. I'm the MCU Disney shill of this podcast.
Did we say it on the podcast that Brandon does all the snooze for like the Marvel subreddit?
He's famous.
He does all the snooze for the Marvel subreddit.
Hello?
Are you a mod on that subreddit?
No, God, you couldn't even pay me to do that. Jesus.
Really?
That'd be horrific.
Those guys all get spoiled too. Like I message the mod team a lot, and like when I'm sending them the snooze, and they're like, yeah, I just had to turn off my private messaging because people just like DM me spoilers. I'm like, wow, what a wonderful community of people.
Do you like get paid for the snooze?
Nope, I just make. They're not that hard to make, and it's like, I mean, now that the MCU's in like full swing, it is like one every couple of months. It used to just be like once, like every like 5 months or something like that. 6 months, yeah. But now it's just like, all right, well, I got to make one for this show and for this movie and for this, and I don't mind. Like again, like I said, they're not like terribly difficult or anything like that. But
how many years have you been doing every snoo for the Marvel subreddit?
A
subreddit that is visited by millions of people.
I think the first one that I made was that got implemented was the Doctor Strange one, I think.
So that was
6
years ago,
2016 or 2017, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been doing
Brandon's
it for a while.
like the hunchback of the Marvel subreddit behind the scenes.
He's the man ringing the bell in the background.
I'm curled over my keyboard, just making all these snooze for hours and hours on end. No, but anyways, yeah, Spider-Man was really, really good. I don't want to spoil too much, but there is a lot happening in that film, and they somehow managed to balance it really, really well. And
I have heard that,
and it's this isn't too much of a spoiler because it's in the trailers, but they Dr. Octopus is back, Alfred Molina and Norman Osborn, Willem Dafoe, and it could have felt like a quick nostalgia grab, and I mean, I'm sure that's not a nostalgia grab, but they were banking on the nostalgia. But the way they actually use it in the film, like them coming back, is really, really well done, and it's actually like a interesting way to separate Tom Holland from like the other Spider-Men, because they fought the other ones.
They walk in from the side of the stage. Hey, everybody.
Hey,
everybody, we're here.
I'm Doc Ock.
Yeah, that's how they come in. They're just like, I'm from a different universe. Hello. But yeah, really good. I would recommend that one to Spider fans. And if you don't like the MCU, you won't like this movie. So
that makes sense.
And another movie that Jim and I watched was Sisters Brothers. That one was really good.
Oh,
really like that
one.
Sisters Brothers.
It wasn't like amazing, but it really I don't know. It's something about it just really.
You should read the book.
Yeah, I should.
It has that guy. Patrick DeWitt,
mm-hmm.
he's the guy I talk about all the time, but he does so much with like so little writing and stuff. So I think I like the movie a lot. It's an amazingly stylized movie. Like that movie looks fucking excellent for the budget it had. Yeah. But you should read the book, Brandon.
Yeah, I will.
Really good.
And I was about to say, I think stylistically, the movie is very like. I think the word I'm looking for is frank. I don't know. It's like very like. I don't know. There's just something about it.
It's realistic.
Yeah,
I think. I don't think that's the right word, but it's very like. I don't want to say bare bones either, but it's very effective.
Yeah, no, I think it's funny because it is realistic in the sense that the gore is like it's very like realistic, but it's not like overdone. Like it is very like it just frank is the word I would use. It's like this is what happens in real life, and you're like, oh shit, okay. Really good, and John C. Reilly and Joaquin Phoenix, both an unlikely duo, but very, very good together. John
C. Reilly's such a good dramatic actor.
He's really good.
I think he's great.
I want to see him in more movies like that.
John C. Reilly is a leathery guy.
He is a leathery man.
If you want to see him in a really good movie, see him in what's that porn movie?
Step Brothers.
No.
I mean, that does sound like the title
Boogie
of the
Nights.
movie, actually.
Boogie Nights.
Oh my god!
I think he was.
Boogie Nights, Pat.
He was a side character, but
Nights.
he was so good in Boogie Nights.
I still haven't seen that movie. I gotta watch that one.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. And then the third
He's
movie
really
you
young
mentioned.
in that one too.
Oh, nice. Yeah. He had a big cock too.
Yeah.
And then the third movie that I watched that I think about a lot is Green Knight. You mentioned that earlier, Jim. That was a really good film.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't? Well, I would highly recommend it.
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Is the Green Knight not a superhero movie?
No, the Green Knight is
the Green Knight is.
Let me, Jim.
That's
This
the
is
Green
my
Lantern.
segment. Let me explain.
Okay, sorry, Brandon.
No, it's okay. It's fine. It's based on the Arthurian legend of Sir Gawain. It's like a pretty well known tale, I think. And it's just this Green Knight comes in to King Arthur's court and he's like, "Oh, I have a game for this Christmas Eve." And it's like, "Anyone who can strike me, I will return the same to you next Christmas," or whatever. And Gawain's like, "I'm a new knight, I'll prove myself," and he cuts his entire head off. And then this guy like picks up his head and he's like, "Well, you fucked up, sonny boy," and then he like rides away. And in the original story, it was kind of about it's just like typical knight stuff. It's like, oh, chivalrous, like turning down the advances of because he goes on like this big quest and he like finds another kingdom and like there's a lady there that he like rejects her advances and stuff. But in this one, it's, well, I don't want to spoil too much, but it kind of flips it on its head a little bit. It's really interesting. It's like a tale of why you should own up to your mistakes and not be a shitter basically in life. It's really interesting. It's good. And Dev Patel's, he's a fantastic actor. There's like this guy, this like gaunt looking Irish man who plays King Arthur, who was in like everything and you would definitely recognize if you saw his face. But yeah, really good. Interesting twist on the story. Visually, it's, oh my god, it's a feast, dude. I don't know who directed it actually, but it's an A24 film, so it's like godly cinematography. As for the fourth film that I saw, this was really early on in the year, I think. We watched this movie on my Discord server called Burning. It's a Korean drama film, and it's really rare amongst Korean drama films in that it's about class warfare and struggle and stuff. Very unique in that aspect. And that one's really good. And that was a joke, by the way. Pretty much all Korean stuff is about that, and that's not.
It's okay,
Brandon.
It's not a bad thing. It's okay. We got your joke.
It's not a bad thing because they do it really well.
I saw Parasite.
Korean cinema does it extremely well. Parasite. Like Snowpiercer, Train to Busan. That's all about class warfare. Anyway, this is Steven Yeun is in the movie. He plays like this rich guy who comes back from a vacation with this woman that the main character is kind of interested in, but Steven Yeun, very handsome.
Steven Yeun's from Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to say, is that Steven Yeun? I looked at a poster and then I was like, I can't say that. I'll be made fun of.
No. It is him.
Oh, are we turning the clock down,
That's right.
boys? Day zero.
It's been like 10 minutes since the last racial. No. It's really good. Steven Yeun speaks Korean the entire time. Like it's a Korean film, so just really good. It's very, very slow, but it's and long. But the visual storytelling is excellent in that film. Yeah, just like really good all around. Like I would, it's kind of the Blade Runner of Korean class drama. It's really good.
Dan will hate it then. Dan will hate it.
No, I love it.
No, it's good. It is good. I would recommend watching it. Maybe even in pieces because I think it's like 2.5 hours long. Really, really long film, but good.
Last topic.
Well,
Brandon.
I wanted to say what my favorite of the films were because I know I've been going on a bit.
What was your favorite?
And you guys are gonna lynch me for this, but Spider-Man.
It was the Marvel.
Obviously, it was fucking Spider-Man.
Is so good. It made me feel like a young child again.
Did it make you cry?
Yeah, in a couple parts. Yeah.
Did I ever tell you guys that like I watched Endgame with Brandon on opening night,
like a baby,
and I sat near him, and I remember I told the story how I went to see Mother ! And I was laughing and causing a ruckus in the theater. I love that. Brandon was the ruckus in the theater. He was so engaged.
I was
my
the entire
God,
ruckus, dude.
Were you screaming and hollering and
Thanos, no!
Yeah, I was like, Thanos! No, don't die, Thanos! No, yeah, no, it just had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. I loved it. It was great.
I was in the movie theater during Endgame, and there were people crying like all around us.
It's banana bombs. It was an event,
give
dude.
A rat's ass about the Marvel Universe, and I was sitting there going, "Look at all these man babies crying at Thanos." Like,
all right,
Brandon was the guy who saw Tony Stark get the fucking like rock, and he put them in his hands, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah," they were cheering, and Brandon was like, "No!" as he died.
Obvious, he's gonna die. Anyways, I've been watching it since I was like a youngin', and it's kind of
exactly. If you grew up with it, I can understand why you're so invested in it, but I just couldn't get into it.
It's not really like
Stark,
coming to
I
an
love
end, but
you
like,
1000.
I do love him 1000. RDJ, he's gone now. But yeah, it was good. Really enjoyed.
He's still
Spider-Man.
alive, Brandon. They didn't actually kill him.
Yeah, he was contractually obligated to die.
They had to melt him into dust.
Yeah, they did.
Me when Ant-Man crawls out of Thanos' urethra.
Shut the fuck
Dude,
up.
that was an excellent scene. But yeah, so
let's stop. Let's go to the most exciting topic. The last one.
The one about
Okay, so-
so
guys, this is the one you've been clicking on the podcast for. You see that link? You see
This is what
books. We're talking about.
This is where we're
books.
going to see that dramatic drop off.
Yeah, no, this is where it's going to go up, Jim.
Books
People are going to be skipping to the books. So,
Jeez.
wait, does that mean I start or do I pass it off to someone?
Yes, you start, bro.
Okay.
I think you pass it to. Oh, okay.
No, you start. And
Oh
then you
wait,
pass.
yeah, I think you're right.
I think someone didn't do that along the way, but whatever.
I don't know.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it from here. So I read. I think there's like The Witcher is good, but I wouldn't say it's like my favorite books. Like they're just like good, like fantasy, like enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think one that stuck out to me that I read this year was called The Inconvenient Indian by a guy named Thomas King, Canadian author. He's a indigenous guy, and he wrote about his experiences in the U.S. and Canada, and it's kind of like from a more comedic point of view. Like it's like very sardonic and sarcastic. It's very good though. It's
I heard
would
about
recommend
that one. I heard it was really good.
Yeah, it's not too long of a read either. I would recommend that one, especially if you want to learn more about like what's kind of going on with indigenous people in both countries. Yeah, and he a lot of stuff I did not know about in there. He talks about like people in movies, like Native people in movies and in like real life and stuff, events. Really, really good. I also read a classic, I guess, a contemporary classic, Fahrenheit 451. That's by Ray Bradbury.
Is that the one about
a good
the
book.
book
Bradbury.
burnings?
Yeah, the firefighters that are like sent to burn people's books. And
Yes.
yeah, I mean, it seems pretty, I don't want to say trite now, but like it's like, it's like the whole thing is like the people are burning books and they only watch their screens. And it's like, yeah, well, I mean, I'm living that now.
Black Mirror,
well, we don't
bro.
really burn our books unless you live in the Deep South or Nazi Germany, but Nazi Germany in the past and the Deep South now. But yeah, it's
I was going to say there's some overlap there.
yeah, there's definitely overlap. Hashtag political commentary. This is where the real views come in. We get the MAGA people.
Yeah.
Anyways,
this is where the angry typing comes
yeah.
in.
Anyway, of course, I don't want to start anything, but yeah, it's a very good book. Like it's written kind of it. I would compare the prose a bit to like the one you gave me, Jim, We by Yevgeny Zamyatin, where it's like
where it's kind of like like you can tell is it translated?
not translated, but it's like kind of arcane, I guess you would say. It's like a little like not illegible, but like it's like he definitely
a little inscrutable. Yeah,
it is hard to scrute indeed.
Hard to scrute.
But
I should write that on my tombstone.
hard to scrute. But yeah, it was really good. Another short read actually. I think it was only like 150 pages, 200 pages, something like that. But yeah, it was it's a good little commentary on the state of things. Burning books, screens only. Have to take lots of drugs to go to sleep. I mean, yeah. So, but I think those were the books that I don't. There's not really anything else I think I've read this
books
year.
are going to be a quick topic.
Okay.
Pass it on.
Yeah, let's pass it on to Pat. Let's see what books have you been reading, Pat?
Didn't read very many books this year.
That's okay to say, buddy.
That's okay.
What Reddit posts did you read?
Yeah, what no sleep stories?
I had 7,000 hours
hentai did you
on
read?
Ask Reddit in my Reddit recap this year. So
That is
Reddit.
epic
I
bacon.
hated that Reddit recap was a thing.
I know.
The narwhal bacon's at midnight.
epic bacon, Pat.
I would say my favorite book this year, I read Alone in the Universe, like I told you guys, by John Gruden.
Oh, yes.
Was-
Yeah, you did.
so
That
it-
sounded interesting.
It was a book which debunks the theory that aliens exist, and it's really it was kind of hard to understand a lot of it because it's a guy who's like a scientist talking about things, trying to dumb it down for people like me. But he really goes into the theory about how every aspect of life was like the chances of anything happening for life to be born, like there's like a 0.0000001% chance for all of those occurrences up until now. So that happening on other planets or other universes is almost even less likely. So
We are literally like sentient mud that raced out of the
exactly.
ground.
So that's what he talks about in that one.
Collectible.
But honestly, it might not even be book, but my favorite book / short story of all of 2021 or all of what I read this year was Layers of Fear by Junji Ito.
Oh,
That's really
yes.
good.
Oh,
Oh
very,
my
very good.
God.
Yeah.
If you like horror mangas or anything like that, or just horror books in general, this was great. I loved it. So, it's about
Awesome.
a girl who They get into a car crash, and they realize that this girl has a layer of skin underneath all of her skin that is a shell of who she was a year ago. So I won't give it any more than that.
Imagery in that book.
Yeah, it's crazy. But if you like horror mangas, then definitely check it out.
I prefer you don't call it gross because I actually have the same condition. So and it's like really embarrassing. So
Brandon's built up youthful. Shells on top of shells.
Yeah, so it's actually pretty offensive that you would make fun of that. But
that's why Brandon's so dense.
No, I'm pretty dense because I like to hit myself in the head with rocks.
Big or Patty, who's next?
I'll throw it over to Jim.
Gimbal. Jim read a lot of fucking books, but he's not going to talk about all of them. The three that really stood out to me, one was French Exit, which is by Patrick DeWitt, a book I read in a day.
Damn.
It's the same guy who wrote Sisters, Brothers, and Under Major Minor Domo and Ablutions. He's a very good Canadian author. I read Lonesome Dove, and I've talked about all the fucking cowboy books I've read by Larry McMurdy over Shack Out Back the last few months, but I don't think a lot of them are very good books. Some of them have been adapted into movies and stuff, but the one that I'll say is an excellent book was Lonesome Dove. Lonesome Dove is the best book he's written so far that I've read.
Nice.
It was very good. I read some other stuff, I read a lot. We talked about webtoons and I Need No Sleep and shit like that, but in terms of books, the one that is my favorite book I read this year that I didn't expect to like. When I go to Montreal, I always go to this little shop called The Word. It's right by the student ghetto near McGill. And I walked in and I didn't really know what to get. And I was like, let me get something. So I got Riel, A Life of Revolution about Louis Riel. And I was like, I'll just get this book. It might be interesting. And I read that 550-page book in 3 days. Because it was... I don't read biographies and I don't read a lot of nonfiction. I'd say it's probably I read a quarter of nonfiction in terms of what I read.
Yeah.
But that man's life was fucking lunacy. It read like fiction. He was such a fucking weird guy who was this one of the hugest figures in Canadian history, and it was so cool to learn about him. I'd recommend you guys not you can pick up that book if you want, Real Life of Revolution, but just read his fucking Wikipedia page. It's nuts.
Autobiographies could definitely be not a slog, but a lot. I read back in high school, I read Nelson Mandela's autobiography, and it was 850 pages. It was insane. Yeah. It was good though. But yeah, I mean, it can. Yeah.
Who hasn't gone yet? It's been
me.
Dan, right?
I'm the last one in this topic.
Dan.
Yeah, Dan, you go.
My favorite book of the year by far, I just finished it today, was An Orchestra of Minorities. By
the book that you took 6 months to read.
I took a long hiatus from it, and then when I got back into it, really hard. It is by Chigozie Obioma. He is a Nigerian author, and he has made another book that I absolutely love that my girlfriend just started reading called The Fisherman. But An Orchestra of Minorities is his second book, and it follows a Chi talking. It's big into Igbo cosmology and African cosmology and stuff. So it's a hard read for some people. I can 100% understand how people would drop this book. Mm-hmm. But it is very interestingly written. It's written from the perspective of a person's chi, so we aren't really ever getting an actual human interaction. We're getting mostly how a chi that has lived in a bunch of people is viewing his current host's actions towards a woman that he loves, and a bunch of shit happens, and it's very, very somber. It ended today, and I was I had no other way. I knew it was going to end like that, but I was just kind of, it's a little story. It's almost like the Odyssey, essentially. It's an Igbo version of the Odyssey.
Sounds awesome, yeah.
Very weird, very not for everyone. I would say read The Fisherman if you're interested in African and Igbo lore and everything. The Fisherman's a much easier read, and I thought it was better overall, but An Orchestra of Minorities is still very cool. And you sound like a cool guy for reading an interesting book like this.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's when you can definitely push your
Dan always reads cool books.
Yeah, and then I read an African lore book.
I read an African Igbo cosmology book, and they say, whoa!
What African Igbo cosmology? I don't know any of those words.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But I kind of was thinking about reaching out to the author, because he's a professor at Brown University, I believe.
Oh, cool.
And I want to see if I can get him to sign copies of the book, if there's anywhere I could send them, in the mail.
And sell them on eBay, yeah?
No, I don't want to do that. But that's my book. I also read a bunch of manga, but that's pretty normal for me.
Notice me and Dan didn't say 15 dogs.
Yeah, no, we didn't.
A book that I get more frustrated about when I keep thinking about it and re-listening to our episode of Shackdown.
When people die for no reason in that book, or dogs, I guess rather.
Yeah,
15
and
dogs.
the stupid Greek culture stuff.
Greek culture?
Jim hates Greek people.
Oh my God.
I hate tzatziki yogurt sauce.
We're gonna have to cut out like 3
remark.
quarters of this podcast.
Well, it was the Greek god shit in it. I talked about it on Shackle Back, but it was just fucking distracting. It just read like, oh, this interesting story about sentient dogs, and then Hercules the film in the middle of the fucking book. It was shit.
All right, this podcast episode name is Jim Goes Off on the Greeks.
So
set Jim's counter down to 0.
This is it. This is the last big old topic.
Okay, do you guys want me to go first to kind of set the mood of like, a favorite moment that happened this year?
Let's go, Jim.
So I think that I think everyone's had like a tough like COVID couple years, but I think that, not to get into a lot of stuff, but like I think that I was kind of like shitty for a good period this year. Like my dog died and some other stuff happened that wasn't fun. And I feel like I was a little bit down, a lot more than I
tugs that shirt collar. Yee.
But I went camping. I don't know if I told the story on Check Out Back, but I went camping with some friends, and everything that could have went wrong went wrong. My friend picked the campsite, and it was right next to the bathroom, all the beach parking, and a swamp. It had no tree cover. We got eaten alive by mosquitoes. My friend's boyfriend had an allergic reaction. His car broke down, and 100 other things. But the thing with this trip was that we all went and we didn't fight. We were laughing and joking and drinking and carrying on. And I think one of my favorite moments, we were all just like sitting on the beach, because the beach was like our refuge.
Yeah.
And we all looked at each other because we were supposed to be there for like 3 or 4 days. Me and my friend Madeline, my friend Kate, looked at each other and we were just like, let's get the fuck out of here. And we cut the trip short by like 2 days. It was very fun. Talking to them and hanging out. And that was my favorite moment. I think that kind of coalesced the whole trip. We all just like silently looked at each other. We're like, let's get the fuck out of here. Who wants to go next? I think I'm going to pick good old my co-host, so Dan Sama.
Me? I had 2 options that immediately sprung to mind in my best moments this year. Okay, so honorary pick, one of my favorite moments every single week is when I kill Patrick in the deep dives multiple times.
Yes.
I love doing that, and it brings me so much joy.
Trolling Pat.
I drilling
think about
under
it at
Pat,
night.
and I shooting Pat with big guns, and I shooting a big missile.
We try to get in the drop pod, and we turn around, Pat's dead, and Dan's looking over his body.
I like that a lot. But my 2 actual picks are, me and my girlfriend went to Alberta this year, and it was wonderful. We climbed mountains and we saw the sunrise and sunsets and everything, and we were outside a lot. Mm-hmm. And definitely gonna go back. It was fucking amazing. That trip was great. And my other pick was, we got our little cat who is sleeping now after meowing a bunch. We got our cat Rhubarb a couple months ago, and she has been very, very good, even when she meows a bunch.
During Shack Out Back. And especially when she gets on the top of the bed and massages my legs at night.
Like Swiss style?
Yeah, you know how cats knead? She sits directly on my legs and moves up and down them every night and kneads
She's just
my
making
legs.
pizza.
That's awesome, yeah.
Literally.
She's baking Dan bread.
Kneading the dough.
Kneading the dough.
I want Brandon to go next.
Okay, yeah. Much to Jim's point, I kind of had a bit of a rough year this year as well. But I think a couple things that stand out to me. The first, it's not really like a single moment, but I think after I got my vaccine and I was starting to hang out and catch up with people again, that was really, really good. I was getting pretty emotional, good. Just being in the same place with people again. You know, that was really, really enjoyable. It definitely lifted my spirits a lot. And of course that seems to be going down the drain again with this new variant, but we'll see how that goes.
We'll get back together, Brandon.
We'll do it eventually. And then I think kind of to your point, Dan, I think I had a nap with my dog a couple weeks ago, and that was really nice. Because he usually sleeps in this crate, but I was just like, you know what, I'm feeling really tired today. I'm just gonna have a nap with Guinness, and it was very nice. He does this thing where when he's asleep, he'll just shake and go and he's having a little dream. Oh, it's so cute. Oh my god, he's a good boy. Most of the time he can be an asshole sometimes, but he's when he's cuddly, he's very cuddly. So he's a good boy. Little Guinness.
Sounds very cute.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a good boy. I think those are my favorite moments. I'm sure there's some I'm forgetting, and some people would be pissed
100%.
off. But those are the ones that come to mind. Those are the ones I could think of, really, off the top of my head. So,
Odie.
Let's do some small ones first. Some small ones were I played a ton of Deep Rock, so that was fun. What else? I quit my job. It was a fun job. Well, it wasn't fun, but it wasn't boring at least. And I got to enjoy 2 weeks of summer. So you can tell this year's been fun already. I got 2 weeks of summer to myself, and woohoo!
Was this the year you were a Box Factory guy?
No.
No, you were at the.
It just kind of melds.
Oh,
together
you were
with
at
knitting place.
you were at the mall. Yeah, they called me this year, didn't they? And I helped you get a job.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
yes. Pat, Jim lied, and now H&M's going to listen to this, and he's never going to be able to get a job at H&M.
Damn it!
I pretended to be a manager, and I got Patrick a job.
I didn't work at H&M, but
Didn't you work at H&M?
if you say I worked there, I worked there. No, I didn't.
Home Sense?
Yeah, Pat was
Yeah.
doing. You were modeling at
Same
Abercrombie and Fitch. Right?
thing.
Yeah.
Patrick's sexy.
Got a 6-pack. He's got an 8-pack, dude.
I don't know. I didn't really do much. The two things that come to mind are, number one, I moved out, so that was
Very
really
cool.
nice. And during that, actually, I wasn't big on cooking. I'm still not big on cooking, but it sort of forced me to start cooking. So I realized that I'm not that bad of a chef when it comes to cooking things. I plan my meals, and I can cook some pretty, not things that are too hard to make, but like pork tenderloin, things that you can pop in the oven.
Pork tenderloin.
And you can like put seasonings and sauces together and
Pate.
gnocchi and things like that. So
Oh, okay.
I make some pretty good food. And last, I was saving this one for the very end of the podcast, is let's get political.
What the
Oh,
fuck
no.
does this
My
mean?
favorite moment of 2021 was when the PPC didn't even win one
Oh,
seat.
yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about 2021, because I'm a political science guy, is that the PPC stole the conservative win from the conservatives because they siphoned just enough votes from right-wing nutbags, so the conservatives didn't win
So-
the prime minister. Be the
So
prime
for
minister.
anyone who doesn't know what the PPC is, they are a party in Canada that were originally part of the Conservatives, but branched off, probably because of COVID, because they didn't, their views didn't align with the
it was like
Conservatives.
6 months before or
So,
something.
They're that new?
I'm not a conservative.
No, they were
no,
before
no.
COVID.
But I'm not a conservative in general. But I have started to not be as hard as I was on conservative voters as I am on PPC voters, because these are the true insane people of the world. Like, their views are terrible. So it was great seeing like all the anti-mask rallies and all the hard effort they put into people
so
voting,
funny.
and then they didn't even get one seat in the parliament. So
Yeah, that was good.
that was a epic win, epic moment.
It was an epic dab.
That's just
on them,
your
to be honest.
liberal bias showing through, you cuck.
I'm a pretty left-leaning guy, but I kind of like bend and vote like depending on who's up for election and like the different things that are going on. But yeah, seeing those fucking cunts get trounced was pretty good.
Yeah, that was.
We're losing
was a
our
bit-
major majority of viewers are PPC.
It's PPC.
Yeah, they're like, oh, god damn it! It's fucking political. Why'd you have to get political?
But that's
Oh.
that's 2021.
What
wrapped.
about NFTs? The guy who sold.
I was actually Patrick. No,
Thanks
I was
everyone for
actually
listening to the Shack Out Back
Pat,
podcast. We are not going to talk about
Pat,
NFTs.
I'm not doing this.
I
We're
was
not
actually
talking about
thinking,
NFTs.
Pat, I was like, one of my
NFTs.
favorite moments is making fun of NFTs.
My
I
favorite
laugh
moment was
every
when
time.
Brandon put out a piece of art, and then I screenshotted it and I sold it as an NFT for $300,000. Suck on that, Brand.
That is 2021 wrapped. I am excited to see. I'm gonna make some predictions. By the end of 2022, I'm gonna say the NFT craze is dead. It's either gonna be legalized or found to be a huge money laundering ring, like it is.
It is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm gonna say. Okay, this is a big one. I'm gonna say by the end of 2022, we'll finally be getting out of all this stuff. I'm gonna say the society, at this point, everyone's gonna get Omicron. It's got a doubling rate of about 2.5 or 3 days so far.
Damn.
I'm gonna say everyone's gonna get it, and our hospitals will have to figure out a way to handle more cases. If they're bad, we haven't really seen how bad they are. Supposedly not
This is how you win Plague Inc. You make the variant like very subtle and not that bad, and you crank up everything in the game.
Luckily, that's not how viruses actually work in real life.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see. You know, it is hard sometimes with everything going on, but at the end of the day, we're still all good. No one, like, thankfully, my family, I've not had any deaths or anything. No one's even had COVID in my family. Same with Cassie's family.
Yeah, same here. Yep.
But I can still enjoy the stuff. I can still enjoy the playing games with you guys. I can still enjoy hanging out with my girlfriend, watching TV, and yeah.
Do you want to hear my prediction for 2022?
It's gonna be amazing.
Baldur's Gate 3, the second part will come out. the not the end part, but the middle part will finally be released of the 5 acts. The second act will come out.
Wow.
Patrick, what are your predictions?
I predict this year will be the year of sexual assault victims.
Jesus.
Putting out like movie stars. They're all coming out. And I think there's going to be a huge downfall of tons of celebrities.
I can see that. Yeah.
I think level the playing ground,
and that's a good thing. But this will be the year. So
it does feel like that has been culminating in like actual things happening now.
There has been. I mean, it's been going on for years, but this year it's more notable because not more notable, but.
It's just people have even
time,
the people who thought people were good. It's like, no, Chris Pratt's actually a cunt. Yeah, normal people realize that now. That are
people
like,
have time to listen rather than ignoring. Yeah, so it's a good thing. So
that's always a good thing. Yeah.
Brandon, tell me, what are your predictions? What's your prediction?
I predict that Scientology and Mormonism are going to merge into one super church that's going to take over the world and fly into space to claim planets for Xenu.
Simonology.
They're going to kill themselves with Kool-Aid before we do that.
No, I don't know. I just like. Maybe it's just because I'm a bit of a doomer, but like I just feel like
I feel like
Brandon a doomer. Wow, I never would have imagined.
I just feel like I don't know. I feel like something bad's gonna happen. Like really bad's gonna happen.
The climate wars are gonna start.
A market crash,
but like
the water wars are gonna start, bro.
I think something like Dogecoin is big, like economic wise.
The USD.
Yeah, something big.
Resource wars.
Elon's gonna say, "Hey, the US dollar sucks. Let's all use Dogecoin, and I'm gonna buy a bag of high chews and a bag of some Japanese candy with some Dogecoin instead of some Canadian dollars."
Yeah. I mean, I could just say like, oh, I'm going to get a very nice girlfriend and buy a house that's $6 million in London, Ontario, because I definitely have that kind of money.
That'll
be my prediction.
We'll come a year from now and we'll see.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking in renovating shacks not shacks, but sheds into houses.
Nice.
That's what I've been looking at today. Because I think like that's the only way we're gonna be able to get a house is like buy some fucking swamp land.
I think things
spend 16 grand.
Start with a van. Do some van dwelling.
That's gonna be my real prediction because Baldur's Gate Part 2 is not coming out. Is the housing market crash will finally fucking happen?
That'd be so cool. That'd be so fucking cool.
I've heard that the prices are going up 10% next year. So
yes, I did hear that as well. But
like now, this is not.
I'm
tenable.
pretty sure they just passed a law that foreign companies can't buy housing in Canada. So that's a good thing because now you can't.
The damage is done, Pat.
That's true. But now you can't be somewhere in like I don't know, China or
Shanghai,
any other country and buy a house in London and sell it for double the price.
You just sit on it. You don't even do anything. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is there's a lot of people like domestically doing that too, right? Like Airbnbs and stuff, and just some people literally just buy houses to like rent out.
Everybody, this is turning into the regular Deep Rock talk that we have in our server. So I think we're going to cut short. This is almost an hour and a half of Jim having to edit.
By far.
Damn,
Jim's going to be on overnights next week and fucking spending 6 days editing Shack Out back.
If this one comes out late, that's okay. This is the end of the year special.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to come out late.
And I mean, I've been sitting in the shack for an hour and a half, and let me tell you, Jim. Yeah, I'm okay with the shack, but you've been leaving a lot of dead rats in the corner and stuff recently.
Yeah. Bro, you're sitting on Radicus. Yeah, come here, boy. And I pick him up and I put him in my lap and I give him a little pet because Brandon's hard glutes of like giving him some damage. And
he's got that Squidward ass impression in his face.
Brandon's kind of jacked, to be honest.
What,
bro? Like, what do you think we're eating in the shack? We haven't left in like over a year now. We're just catching the rats and eating.
Give me a can of sardines.
Feeding. I've been filter feeding.
Give me a can of sardines from the 1900s, and I don't know.
I have Louis Riel come in through a time teleport and giving me lead cans from 1860 in order to eat my sardines. Okay. But okay, we're getting out of here. Twitter. You can follow me at Popeyed Barkin for me retweeting what I think are funny memes and political opinions. You can follow Dan at...
It's Markle Danny.
And what do you do?
I tweet a lot of stuff. I like a lot of things. I think I laugh at my own likes. I scroll through them when I have no internet because I just laugh at them because they're like saved on my phone.
This is why he works well in the shack, because Dan, when I'm not talking to Dan, he'll just sit in the corner and talk to himself and giggle. He's very nice to have around. Patrick, little Odie, talk to me about your music and your shit.
Honestly, I've been lacking on the posts. I haven't posted a lot of stuff, but if you do want to follow me somewhere, follow my Last FM so you can see what music I'm listening to.
Nice.
It's lastfm/user/Otrick.
Did I tell you that I was just hanging out with Jaden and he had forgotten like what your username was on SoundCloud, and he literally just had your music like in playlist that he was listening to.
Oh, really?
That's cool.
Like he just forgot that you were like Patrick from work, and he was just listening to your music like any other music.
Sick.
I thought that was really
That's
cool.
cool.
I have a song right now. Well, I mean, the singer in it really helped me out because he was pretty popular. And it's got like something like 12,000 views or 12,000 plays.
Cool.
And it came
good.
out like 2 or 3 years ago, and I still get notifications for it. So, it's at 7,000 plays. I lied.
Brandon, take us out.
Yeah.
What do you do?
What do you
I
do?
do art, and I sit down and play video games a lot, but mostly the art. So you can follow me on Instagram at bchen.art with a little @ symbol in front of that, of course. And my art station is brandon_chen.artstation.com. I only post my really good stuff there, but if you want a lot of posts, go to Instagram.
And you can find his work on r/Marvel. And I think that's it for
That's all for 2021.
The year-end hoedown of Shack Out Back. So I think that what we're going to take us out on is Pat giving us stock advice. So tell us some stock advice.
What stocks are going to rise and fall next year, Pat? Tell us.
Oh, man. I don't know. I have no clue.
That's it. No, that's it.
The speculation is looking good this year. I don't know.
Don't buy stocks.
And wasn't that a sexy episode with a bunch of sexy boys on it? It's me, your good pal Gombus, and I'm in the end of my overnights. I have overnight brain. It's coming out my ears, and I thought that I would take the time to tell you all that we do have a topic for next week, because it's a Steam sale, so me and Dan bought some stuff. I was going to pick Licorice Pizza, but I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know if I'm going to like it. So I picked The Forest. Me and Dan both have The Forest. I bought The Forest for him for Christmas. A little game where you strap bits of fucking animals on you and fight cannibals in a dirty, bloody hole. It should be fun. I think that, it should be a good time. And that's what we're doing for episode 32 of Shack Out Back. Holy fuck. Lots of episodes. And to make this episode even longer, that's it. Goodbye.
Good night, darling.
Goodbye, Jill.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Dan.
Good night, everybody.